Hello everyone. In this video, I'm going to show you how to create a code mod by using various tools. First, let's see what is a code mod. Code mod is short for code modifications, which is a better way to migrate your code bases to newer versions or upgrade your libraries or frameworks or do some large scale refactorings. It is kind of fully automated. It is better than the old ways of find and replace and regex pattern matching and those kind of stuff. Okay, so I'm going to show you how to use a couple of tools to create code mods. You'll be definitely needing these tools to write code mods because they help you to write code mods easily and in a quicker way. Okay, so the first tool I'm going to introduce is something called um, AST Explorer. Okay, so AST Explorer is a tool which allows you to inspect your source code into AST representations. What do you mean by AST? AST means abstract syntax tree. It is basically the tree representation of your source code so that it would be easy for the compilers and the interpreters to execute your code into machine format, or it is easy for them to optimize code. So ASTs are basically the building blocks for all the language development tools like compilers and interpreters. Okay, with code mods you'll be basically doing AST to AST transformations, which means you modify the AST of the source code and you do some modifications with the AST, and then you print the AST back into the source code. So that is how code mods generally works. Okay, let's say you take this example for JavaScript. This is a simple code. We are declaring a variable here and calling a function with that variable. Okay, so if we check this one in the right hand panel, so this is the AST tree for this particular source code. So here you have you have at the top level you have the file, and then you have the program, and under program uh, you have two things. So the in the body of the program, one is a variable declaration, this one the let tips one, and the next one is a function declaration. Okay, so if you inspect the variable declaration node, a variable declaration can have an array of declarations, which means you can have multiple variable declarations within a single statement, right, within a single variable declaration. So here you have only one because we have declared only one, and this is a variable declarator node. So everything in this tree is called as nodes. Okay, so there are different kinds of AST nodes. Okay, and in the variable declarator node you have the unit, something like that. Okay, so this is the AST representation of this particular source code. So basically, we with code mods we'll try to modify this AST thing and then print it back to source code. So that's how the code mods work. So let's see with an example here. So I'm going to introduce another tool here, which is called Jarvis. So Jarvis helps you to write code mods by automatically, figuring out the transformation logic for you. You don't have to, learn all the JS CodeShift APIs and the AST about. You don't have to know a great deal about ASTs with Jarvis because it automatically does a lot of things for you. Okay. So JS CodeShift is a tool to run your code mods basically. Okay. So now take this case, so this is the source code and this is the target code. So this is before modification, this is after modification. Okay, so what you want to do in this case is we want to rename a function. We, okay, first let's see what is this AST of this particular thing is. So you can view the AST here, go to source AST, you have the file program, and in the body you have something called expression statement. So this is an expression statement in JavaScript. Under expression statement, we have the expression called call expression. And call expression have something called an identifier, which is the name foo. Okay, so basically you want to rename this foo to bar. Okay, so what we need to do is we need to find this particular node and set the property name to foo. This is what we need to do. Okay, so if we do that, automatically your foo will be changed to bar. Okay, so let's get back to the code mod panel here. So this is the transformation logic for this particular code mod. So what are we doing here? So first we are bringing the JS Code Shift API, and we are finding the source file, and we are finding the body of the root. Then from the root, you are finding a call expression. Okay, so you are finding all the call expressions with a filter called the callee.name foo. Okay, so which we saw in the AST. So the call expression callee.name foo. Okay, so and then we are going to replace this particular node with a new call expression. Okay, so new call expression with an identifier bar. So this is how you construct a new call expression. Okay, so what is so special about Jarvis is that it helps you to automatically find the relevant JS Code Shift APIs, Node Builder APIs, as well as the Node Finder APIs. Okay, so let's in this case foo is a call expression. So how do you build this call expression? This is how you build it. So you put an expression statement with the call expression and identifier foo. And how do you find this kind of call expressions in your code? Which you can find it here. So root.find j.call expression with the filter callee name foo. Okay. So these type of uh, helpers are automatically available in Jarvis. But in case of AST Explorer, you don't have much documentation, and you have to write your own logic. So by figuring out what will be the node API, what will be the find API, there is no proper documentation for JS Code Shift in the first place. So that's why I created this tool, Jarvis, to help beginners and intermediate users to create code mods on their own. Okay, so let's have a quick walkthrough about Jarvis. So in Jarvis, you can find language support for JavaScript and handlebars. Okay, so you can write code mods for handlebars as well as JavaScript. And then this is something called a opcode. So what is an opcode? It is a AST node operations, whether to replace or remove insert nodes. Okay, so let's take this example. Okay, so here in this particular thing, we are basically replacing foo with bar. So this is the output. This is the output panel. So if I choose a different node operation, let's say I want to insert before. So I want to insert bar before foo. So you get the right, and then it is insert after. So bar is inserted after foo. So you get the idea, right? So these are basically different transformations that can that you can do with the AST nodes. So that is by default supported by Jarvis. Okay. And there is something called smart update. Okay, so what do you mean by smart update is, so if you look at the transformation here, if you look at this code mod here, so basically we are replacing the old node with a new node. So we are constructing a new node entirely and replace it with for the old node. So this is sometimes proves costly, because if it is a very complex node, you have to create a lot of things and something like that. So that's where Jarvis comes into play. So if you turn on smart update, so Jarvis will automatically update only the changed values within a particular node. So here in this case, the changed value is only the name of your callee. So we are just updating it. So this is smart update. And then you can also download your code mod. This code mod you have created, you can also download it as a npm project, and you can publish it to npm. You can write, add more tests to it, and you can share it with the community. Okay, so this will download a bootstrapped project based on something called code mod CLI. Okay, so code mod CLI is a tool which helps you to bootstrap your code mods. It is something similar to create React app for code mods. Okay, and here you can see the what is the parser that is used to parse this particular source code and convert it into an AST. So here we are using the Babel parser that comes with Recast. Okay, it is 7.20.5. Okay, and this is the source panels, where you have the code mod, and next the AST representation of your source code, and then the source builder API, the node builder API for the source code, and the finder API for the source code. So below, similarly, you can first find the output. So this output is this code mod applied to the source code, and what is the output. So that is shown here. So this is just to verify whether your code mod is working proper or not, something like that. Okay, you can just play around it here. You can say something. And then, so now I'm going to show you how to create some, complex code mods. So recently I created a code mod for Redwood.js. So this is the changes. So Redwood, V4 comes with some changes, something like, you need to add useauth property to your router, and you also need to import the useauth hook from your src auth file. So here there are two changes. First, you have to add this new property to the router component, and then you need to add the import statement here. Okay, so let's see how we can do this with Jarvis. Okay, so let's just copy this particular